What are the different skills you need to have as a financial analyst? I'm going to be breaking that down in this video in 3 different segments. So the first segment is financial modeling and forecasting skills. We do a lot of our work in Excel, so proficiency in Excel is very beneficial. Just to name some of the basics, you're going to need to know how to use VLOOKUP, XLOOKUP, SUMIFs, index match, pivot tables. There's a lot you need to know in Excel. You also need to be proficient in financial forecasting, which is the ability to project future financials in a short period or a long period of time. There are a lot of different ways to create a forecast, such as qualitative methods, quantitative, scenario planning, rolling forecast. It really just depends on the business and what they use. And lastly, for this segment, you're going to need to know how to create budget and scenario analyses. So this skill is where you project financial outcomes based on different assumptions, and those assumptions are created through financial models. Moving on to the second segment, you're going to need to understand the financial statements. You're going to need to be able to read and interpret the 3 main financial statements, such as the balance sheet, the income statement, and the cash flow statement. You need to be familiar with all 3 to get a better grasp of how transactions are flowing through their different financial statements. This makes for better analysis later down the line. Whatever financial statement you focus on, you're going to have to do what's called a variance analysis. So that's where you take what actualized and you compare it to the forecast, and the result is a variance. So you analyze that variance column and you see what's favorable or what's unfavorable. And for this last segment, I'm going to call it data analysis just because there's a lot of different things that can go into this. You're going to have to understand how financial metrics work, such as ROI, EBITDA, gross margin, and working capital. You need to know how to calculate them just because you're going to have to interpret them later down the line. Understanding that skill falls under this next skill, which is creating and tracking KPIs and putting them on dashboards. KPI stands for key performance indicators, and you can kind of think of a KPI dashboard as a snapshot of how those metrics are doing. And the last skill you need to know is how to use business intelligence tools. I personally use Power BI at work, but I know some other financial analysts that use Tableau. So where can you learn all these different financial analyst skills? There are different courses you can take through the Corporate Finance Institute. I personally recommend their FMVA certification. It gives in-depth training to the skills that I mentioned. So their platform provides you quizzes, video lessons, case studies, as well as interactive exercises. It's really beneficial in teaching you the skills you need to know as a financial analyst. I have the link in my bio if you want to learn more. So it doesn't matter if you're a full-time student or you're working full-time. Their schedule is completely flexible, so you can learn on your own time.